Start game now.
Welcome retro fans to another edition of the No Swear Gamer. Yep, today I'm joined by my little mappy display here because we're going to do another Namco game based on the 1983 arcade game. We're going to do Pole Position 2 for your Atari 7800 Pro system. Yes, this was actually the original pack-in for the Atari 7800, and to the best of my knowledge, it was the only pack-in, at least to my experience. I've never seen Atari 7800 on store shelves without one when it was being sold. Yet, despite that, it was also released in boxed form. The original copy right here had a very interesting label, as most game labels on the 7800 made by Atari had a picture of the cover art, but this one just has a generic kind of black and white theme going on here, making it kind of unique in your collection, even though it's the most common card there is. But let's take a look at this box copy. I do not know why they made a box copy. I'm guessing at some point, maybe they sold the system without it, but it's also possible they just sold it as someone was, looking for a replacement copy for whatever reason. Checking out the box art here, we have this guy in a kind of a pinkish car, and he looks really concerned about his right tire there. Not sure what's going on there. And if you look in the background, it looks like it is spewing out the Electronic Arts logo from the exhaust pipe. You got some circles and triangles and such just coming out of their exhaust. I'm not sure what's going on. Other than that, the box art is kind of bland. You got a lot of this orangish color going up, taking up a lot of space here. Looking at the back, guess what? We see shenanigans because the only screenshot is from the arcade game, not the 7800 system. So I call shenanigans on you, Atari. But let's go ahead and take Pole Position 2, plug it into our Pro system, and see if this original pack-in game is worth a race or not. Let's go to the game. Pole Position 2 came with the system either in late 1986 or 1987, depending on who you ask. Actually, it probably came out in 1984. I'm guessing when the system went to some test markets, I'm not sure, but during the in-game screens, it does have a copyright of 1984 on it. In Pole Position, your goal is to raise awareness for breast cancer as you race your pink-colored car all over the globe on 4 different tracks. Or it's just to win the races and do your best. You take your pick. Yep, Pole Position has 4 tracks. Unlike the original only had 1, but the sequel also has the original track, so in a way you're almost getting 2 games for the price of 1. Now there are 2 buttons that you use in this game, which makes sense. It came packed with a 2-button controller, 1 button for accelerate, 1 for brake, even though to be honest with you, I didn't use my brake button often. Typically when I play these racing games, I just like to hit the accelerator, and when I need to brake, I just take my thumb off of the accelerator, and that's about that. However, it also has a shifting capability from high to low gear. Now, you shift into high gear by pushing up, low gear by pushing down. You automatically start in low gear, and when you get to around the 150 mile per hour mark, you're going to want to shift into high gear so you can crank it all the way up to 255 miles per hour. Boy, I guess the 7800 system has some blast processing in it, doesn't it? And you could do that in each of the races. Now, at the beginning of the race, you can select any of the 4 courses. You got 1 course, that's basically your beginner's course, 2 intermediate courses, and 1 kind of tough course, that's the number 4 course. Before you begin the race, you have to qualify. So prepare to qualify, and according to the back of the box, you have 73 seconds to complete a lap. And based on how fast you go, you can actually earn the pole position. That is the number 1 position in the race. That's what you want to get, kids. That's really good. And it'll give you some bonus points as well. There's up to 8 positions you can earn when you are qualifying. Once you enter the race, it's up to you to just keep on going for several laps. And it kind of plays with the arcade style where there's a little timer on top. Once you complete a lap, the timer is extended, so you can actually lose the game, not because other cars have beat you, but just because you didn't cross the finish line on any certain lap at any given time. If you make it all the way to the end of the race, all your bonus points are calculated, but that happens too even if you don't win the race. Interestingly enough, you never really earn first place. It doesn't tell you what place you're in, it just kind of tells you how fast you're going and how many points you've earned, and you can earn bonus points for the number of cars you pass as well. But yeah, there is no podium scene. You just end the race. There's not even a congratulations, you won in first. And it is just, kind of bland at the end of the race. When you start the race in the line, it doesn't matter if you start in the front or back. It's pretty easy usually to get to the front, but however, you're going to find out that this is one of the worstly managed races in video game history. Actually, I think a lot of video games have this process. Whoever organizes video game races on the auto circuits should be fired, because where are these extra cars coming from? Whenever you start the race, even if you're in the pole position, in the first position, and never let anyone pass you, you're going to encounter other cars as well. How did they get there? I don't see any on-ramp. Man, someone's really going to lose their job over this one. And they're even there when you qualify. You think during a qualifying lap you might be allowed to just kind of take the track to yourself, but nope. There's going to be other guys with you as you go along, as you are on the qualifier. And to make matters even worse, occasionally you will see little puddles in the road. Not sure if it's supposed to be water or oil, but yeah, someone really needs to do a better job of managing these tracks. Now, this is a standard F1 racing car. However, you must be very, very careful, because your F1 racer is built out of expired Ford Pintos, because if it bumps into anything, and I mean anything, it will explode into a ball of fire. That's right, this is a very touchy game. Even if you just kind of rub wheels with somebody, you are going to explode, or if you hit one of the cool Atari signs along the side of the road, you will explode as well. Yeah, it is a very tough game in this instance, because if there's more than one car in your way, it might be very difficult to maneuver around them. If you are able to maneuver in between two cars, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because you did a good job not turning into a ball of fire. Thankfully, it doesn't end your race, but it does cost you lots of time, and that can really hinder you when you're talking about the timer that it goes down, because if you crash more than once, you're probably not going to make it. Graphically speaking, this game is definitely a step up from the Atari 2600 version of the original pole position. Your car looks kind of nice. I thought the cars were kind of decent. They're all in various shades of colors. And the backgrounds, some are kind of detailed and look kind of cool. Some, they're kind of bland. I do like how they kind of rotate around the track as you're driving around. But other than that, nothing too graphically impressive with this game. Again, it showed how much better it was than the 2600, but by the time it was released, it probably looked a little outdated already. Yet, good, but not great. Musically speaking, you do hear little ditties at the beginning and ending of the races. You do have the hum of the engines as you're driving around. You can hear the cars as you pass them by, but if you hit the shoulder of the road, your engine's going to cut out for a while due to the limited capabilities of the Atari 7800 sound. Until you get back on the road, then you'll hear your engine again. So yeah, it kind of picks and chooses what sounds you hear, but for the most part, I thought it was fitting for a racing game. Didn't blow my socks off, and some people might find the constant hum of the engine annoying, but I did not. It controls well enough, I suppose. I did have some problems. I could play this both with the joystick and with the control pad for the 7800. I had some problems with the control pad where I accidentally shifted a couple times when I didn't mean to, because if you go up or down a little bit when you don't mean to, it'll take you out of gear, and that can cause you a lost time as well. And I found that the ProLine controller actually handled it better, even though that controller can be uncomfortable to hold for after a while. This is a single player only game, which is a little confusing because they shipped the system with 2 controllers, yet you couldn't play with 2 players, not even alternating, so it's a 1-player solo mission only. It is a family-friendly game. You're just got a strict racing going on. Nothing too offensive in this one at all. If you want a copy on eBay, it's going to be really cheap, because as I said, this came with just about every system that was sold, so you can get these for next to nothing. $4 or less, and that includes the shipping, will get you a copy off of eBay. If you want a brand new copy of the box version, that'll cost you $10. The box version, the game inside, the label was a picture label, so if you want that version loose, that'll cost a couple extra bucks more than the standard version. But yeah, this is a very cheap game to find. So would I recommend this game, and where would I rank it? Well, this is it's a good little racer. I think that's a good way to say it. This is a solid, good little racer. It's fun for a little bit. It's not going to blow off your socks. It is a little bit enjoyable. I kind of scratched my head why they made this a pack, and I thought they should have put something that was more all-encompassing of an audience. Not everyone is a racing video game fan, so maybe if they included something like, I don't know, Galaga or Centipede, something that has name value, or man, if they would have included Miss Pac-Man, they probably would have moved a lot more systems off the shelf. At least that's my little opinion there. But would I recommend it? Listen, if you have a 7800, you probably already have this game, or you'll stumble upon it, so don't go out of your way for this one. Where would I rank it? Well, the only other 7800 game I've reviewed was Rampage by Activision. And while Rampage suffers a little bit of the same kind of arcadey feeling where you're going to get enjoyment out of it, but not for a super long time, I definitely enjoy Rampage a lot better than this game. So I'm going to put this in the number 2 spot right behind Rampage. So there you go. My first 7800 review in a while, but hang on, I got some more coming soon. So if you like Atari 7800, you're not going to want to miss it. And you don't have to miss it if you click the subscribe button. And if you like this video, why don't you go ahead and click that as well? That would mean a lot to me. It actually gives me a nice little good feeling inside. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and once in a while you can also catch me on the Retro Junkies mini podcast that is available on iTunes. I am on a few of them, including ones about the Star Wars video games and one on why the Atari Jaguar is better than the 32X. You heard me. Go download and listen to that if you want to hear my explanation of that one. It was a fun little episode. Anyway, thanks again for giving me part of your day, and stay tuned. Episode 50 is coming up, and it's going to be a fun one. I'll talk to you later, everybody.